Thanks for your support as a channel member, Mason. I don't know how I get myself into these pickles, but basically on today's episode, in order for us to survive in League One and for me to keep my job as manager of Bristol Rovers, I have to relegate the team I support and would quite like to manage, Peterborough. This isn't how this was supposed to work out. Hello and welcome to Club 2 Part 6 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have our final two games of the season, both home games, one against Shrewsbury, who you can see are pushing for the playoffs, a massive outside chance of the playoffs, but they're better than us, and Newport, who are effectively already down, will probably be already relegated by the time we play them. And we'd like to think we're better than them. Since you were last with me, we've played 3 games, won 2, lost 1. Certainly didn't win the ones, or I didn't expect to win that one. We beat Fleetwood with 2 very late goals. We actually had a little bit of a tactical tweak in this game. We got to the point where we did defend well. We stayed competitive. But then on the 70th minute, I just went for it, went to a 4-2-3-1, stuck Benyu in behind Davis with Riley coming in off one wing. And as you can see, it worked. We got back into the game, and then I had to panic and work out how to make that defensive again so that we could hold on to the 2-1 lead. We ended up playing Benyu in central midfield, which is far from ideal. I mean, he can play there, but he wasn't exactly the tough tackling central midfielder I wanted in that situation. But that was a massive result. We then managed to beat Forest Green as well. Holding on a little bit, they massively got back into the game towards the end there. You can see they got a 93rd minute goal, and I was afraid. And then this one against Port Vale, we just weren't very good. So hopefully that's not the end of our good run of form. But all of that form does mean this is how we go into the final two games of the season. We are currently not in the relegation zone. We're in 44th place. 44th place. We're in 20th place, having played 44 games. Learn to read the league table, Kev. We're in 20th place, 46 points on the board, so we are ahead of the Kev ratio. I think I said a couple of episodes ago, 47 points should be enough. I don't think it will. Although that being said, Posh are playing Sunderland, who are top of the league, looking to secure the title, and then Doncaster, who are up there, upper mid-table. So it could be that, I mean, they might beat Doncaster, and they might finish on 47 points. But I would say 48 points would definitely be enough. One win out of these two should be enough. I don't know that we're going to beat Shrewsbury. So we could be going into a very tense last day of the season, knowing that we need to beat Newport, who are probably already relegated, to stay up and relegate Posh. There's a chance Oxford could still get dragged back into. There's an outside chance Lincoln could still get dragged into this. If all three of us win all of... I mean, we can't. Newport can't win their games. Us win ours because we're playing them. But if us and Peterborough and Oxford all win our final 2 games, Lincoln could potentially be dragged back into things. But that seems very... Lincoln haven't been in the discussion at any point. There's your permutations. Let's get into the match. This is the team that we're playing. We've got Townsend in goal. A back four of Kingsley, Lennon, Kilgore and Blass. Clark behind Bird and Savage in midfield. Chapman and Garcia supporting Davis up front. This is very much my first choice team. These are my 11. These are my boys. This is the team that has played so well. We went on an 8-game unbeaten run until we lost in that last match. So we are playing very well, or we have been up until Port Vale, and that's the worry. The most recent game, we were really, really poor. And we've seen already this season how quickly form can turn around. We were playing well, but losing lots of games. We managed to nick a victory from nowhere, really, and it put us on an unbeaten run. But now we've lost that unbeaten run. Are we going to go back into, well, we're playing well, but not winning? Because that would be really problematic. Looks like Oxford are already behind in their game. We've actually jumped above them, but we've now gone behind in our game too. And Newport are ahead in their game. Look how close things are at the moment. My word, I don't want to see replays today. We're not about replays, but look at the state of that game against Newport. If things end as they are, is huge. I said they'd probably already be relegated by then. Well, it could be. I mean, they're winning away at Ipswich. Did that say? They could be. They could get out of it by beating us. Ollie Clark gets the ball into the back of the net, but it's disallowed. I did not want it to be this tense going into the final day. My blood pressure can't handle it. We need to get back into this game. Why is nothing happening? Have I broken it? Football Manager, do so. There we go. I think it was paused without telling me it was paused. Shrewsbury now have a corner. We really don't want to concede again here. Even in the games we've not done very well in, we've been keeping it fairly tight. And I think that has to be the key again today. We know from the game against Fleetwood a couple of matches ago that we can throw players forward. Hopefully we're not going to need to, because Harry Chapman has just scored his 4th goal of the season. It's a lovely cross-in from Blass. It's a header from Chapman. 2 players I signed. Certainly, I'd like to point out the players that are looking like they might save us. They're all the players I signed. They've been our best performers in this run-in, and Chapman's looking for a Chapman saves Bristol Rovers headline, which I think both me and Harry will be very much on board with. Blass now looking to grab another one just before half-time. Garcia is in here. Davis is with him. Garcia shoots, and Garcia, as ever, is a disappointment. I identified him as our best player when I arrived. We still play him regularly, but I genuinely don't know what to do to get a good game out of him. So I think Garcia is one of those where if someone wants to take him off my hands in the summer, we'll definitely let him go. Look at me talking about the summer as if I'm going to be here. If I get sacked, I ain't going to be here. Garcia beats his man. This Garcia is trying to stay. Look, plays it back to Savage. Savage with room to shoot, but it is straight at the Shrewsbury keeper. Posh have now gone behind in their game, it looks like, and are all but relegated as things stand. If we win here with them losing their game, we can actually relegate Posh before the final day, and then that game against Newport effectively becomes a relegation playoff, depending on what happens with Oxford, which actually wouldn't. If we win, Newport can't catch us, so they'd be looking to beat us to catch Oxford if Oxford don't win. I love the final day of the final couple of days of the season. It's so complicated. I would like to be discussing permutations and win-loss combos at the top of the league, but avoiding relegation is just as exciting and important as getting promoted, especially when you join a club halfway through the season and they feel doomed. Kilgore trying to play it forward, looking for Davis, doesn't make it all the way there. And now Shrewsbury looking to get in again, and they've scored again. There's been few occasions this season where we've conceded 2 goals and not lost. We don't usually concede a lot of goals regardless. Can you hear that rain coming down? It's not a good omen, is it? But I don't remember many times where we've scored even twice in a match, let alone 3 times. But we are going to have to do that today to achieve our goals. Kingsley with the corner doesn't get anywhere near a blue shirt, really, and Shrewsbury on the break again. And another goal here from Shrewsbury kills us off, and Savage has got himself sent off, I think, which is seriously problematic because you know I can't cope with being down to 10 men. That completely ruins my plans for what I was going to do to try and get back into the game. I think we're just going to have to leave it as that for a few minutes while I decide what to do. I was going to bring another striker on, but that really depletes the midfield now. It almost becomes a case of trying not to lose, but we're trying not to concede any more goals to protect our already fragile goal difference. We're going to bring Riley on up front. We're going to bring a go-go on in midfield and do this, and we're just going to try not to... I'm tempted to do a third. I'm going to bring Benyu on for Garcia, and we're going to swap those 2 over, and we're doing 3 substitutions all at the same time. Can Chapman play back there? I'm going to do that. Just drop him back a little bit deeper. Benyu is the one who has been coming off the bench and being instrumental in getting us back into games. So let's do that. Let's ask for some passion. And hopefully with Chapman playing a little bit deeper, it just stops us having that big gaping hole in the team on the right-hand side of that midfield. Here is Benyu, who's been left forward precisely for this. Can he grab a goal for us? Was it straight at the keeper or did he just miss? It was straight at the keeper because we've got a corner. And now it's Benyu to take the corner. An equaliser here would be enormous, but there's nobody anywhere near it. As it stands, just 1 point above Newport. Newport are loving what is going on today. I don't understand. Newport beating Ipswich away. Ipswich are up there, upper mid-table. How are they losing to Newport? It doesn't bode well for us. I'm going to demand more. We need an equaliser. An equaliser is massive. Newport have gone behind in their game. That becomes huge again because an equaliser here relegates Newport now. If we can grab one. But we're not winning today, are we? This is 2 defeats on the bounce now. And all of a sudden, things are looking scary again. We go into that final day. At least Sunderland are comfortably beating Posh. We're all losing now, which I guess is part of how relegation battles go. It's different. This is how it's different to promotion battles because none of the 4 of us who are under threat have won today. We've all lost. None of the situations have really changed. I'm far from pleased with what I just saw. We've got to beat Newport on that last day. Hopefully they're going to be broken men because of what happened to them being ahead for so long against Ipswich. But they do have a better goal difference than us. So if they beat us, they stay up. Or no, not necessarily. If they beat us, they go above us. Obviously, if they beat us and Posh win... Oh, it's too complicated for me. Let's just win our last game. Because that's the thing. We're going into the final day of the season knowing a win and we survive. In fact, even a draw. Avoid defeat and we stay in the league. And then that's job done. Here we go then. Final day of the season. Just a quick look at Club Vision. The board are currently satisfied with my performance as manager. If I get sacked after this game, I feel like it's wrongful dismissal, unfair dismissal, no warning. They're still pleased at the moment. I suspect I'm getting sacked if we get relegated. We've had to make one change for the game. Upson comes in for the suspended... whoever it was who was suspended. Savage is his name, isn't it? Interestingly, look, the relationship between Bud and Clark has improved. They're no longer a dotted line. But, of course, bringing Upson into the team brings back the nightmare midfield, the dotted lines, which hopefully aren't going to bite us today. Although, to be fair, if Posh lose, we stay up regardless. I don't know who they're playing. It feels awful hoping for my team to lose. But, you know, needs must. I'd rather have a job than worry about a football result. So, Posh are playing Doncaster. If Doncaster beat Peterborough, we stay up regardless of what happens here, I think, is what I've mathematically concluded. Whereas, if we avoid defeat here, we stay up regardless anyway, and it doesn't matter what happens in that game. Davis is in, and he could have scored a £250,000 goal there and proven I was right to side him all along. As things stand, as you can see, still sat there in 20th place. The all-important 20th place. Davis was in there. In fact, it was Lennon with the header that goes way over the bar. I did one of those pre-match team meeting things to try and motivate everybody. It motivated most of them. It did stress Lennon out, so I wonder if that's why he missed his header there. He was one of a few, Jerome Sinclair as well, who they just got a bit of a grumpy on that. I said it'd be nice to not get relegated today, wouldn't it? And then, don't you dare put that kind of pressure on me! Goodness me. The rest of them were G'd up by it, though, so it had its effect, and Blass was one of the ones who was motivated, and it doesn't matter if Lennon's going to head it over the bar when Blass is there to get his first ever goal for Bristol Rovers. What a way to score it. What a time to score it. It's Bristol Rovers 1, Newport 0, and as things stand, we are safe. Job complete. Obviously, it's not complete because the match isn't over yet, but this would be more than enough. What a goal. What a way to get your first goal for the club. If that's the only goal he ever scores for this football club, he's forever a hero, surely. Kingsley, in swinging corner. I think we've won a penalty. We have. Ed Upson to take. Why on earth is Ed Upson taking that penalty? I didn't move quickly enough to change the penalty taker. I mean, I guess he's a long-standing, experienced player for the club. And he scored it. So that's why I picked him to take it, because I always had faith in Ed Upson, just like I have all season. We're 2-0 up, and 2-0 is massive, because 2-0 up after 15 minutes, we could finish the giddy heights of 19th place. Don't know what Oxford are up to. Don't really care. I can see that Newport are losing, for we are playing them. and it doesn't really matter. I mean, obviously, if we grab another one here and go 3-0 up, I'm going to start cheering Posh on against Doncaster, because it would be the perfect scenario for us and Posh to both survive. Let Oxford get relegated. Oxford can go down with Newport. It's fine. But I'm not going to worry about that just yet. But that would be the perfect scenario for me. Or, of course, Posh get relegated, sack their manager and offer me the job on more money than I'm on here at Bristol Rovers. I don't mind dropping down to League Two. I would absolutely do that. There you go. For those of you questioning if that happens, if we relegate Peterborough today and then end up managing them, if it's more money, I'm going. Because it's the team I support. It's what I do in real life. I wouldn't go for less money. I'm not crazy. I like money more than football. Right. Don't let performances drop. Usual halftime team talk when we're ahead. It was only a few minutes ago I was saying I don't remember us scoring 2 goals very often. So it was a particularly good first half performance. Townsend with the clearance doesn't get anywhere near a blue shirt, but there's Chapman to intercept. And Harry Chapman is going to charge forward, looking to make it 3-0, and he hits it straight at the keeper and then doesn't really manage to do anything from the rebound that he did well to be the first to get to, but wasn't able to then muster up anything further with it as an opportunity. Looking at those match stats up on that right-hand side, we've had 4 clear-cut chances, 1 half chance in 46 minutes. We're playing very good football again, and once again, and it's been the story of the season, or the majority of the season that we've played here at Bristol Rovers, is we just don't have a goal scorer, and it's the one thing we need to go and fix. But while I'm waffling about signing strikers, Newport have scored. It's a very similar goal to the one Blast scored in the first half. I'm not happy with how we've let him keep the ball in and had absolutely nobody applying any pressure. That's kind of the opposite of how I like to play football. We're supposed to be the ones doing all the running and chasing lost causes. They chased a lost cause and benefited with a goal. And now Garcia is going to try and punish them immediately. He's beaten 2 men here. Finds Chapman. What a goal from Harry Chapman! It is an immediate response. I love the fact that my best player is called Chapman. The Chapmans have arrived in Bristol and we've saved this city. Goodness gracious me. Garcia did really well there. I was a bit critical of him in the first match, but he did excellently there, and it's a lovely finish from Chapman. And you might question whether Davis was worth £250,000, but we only paid £110,000 for Harry Chapman, and he has been worth every single penny and then some. Blast now, who, interestingly, only 20 grand. That was a 20 grand pass there as well. And we are making this harder for ourselves than it needs to be. Goodness gracious me, that was... Let's talk about self-destruction again. What's he doing there? Absolutely not Kilgore's fault. It's a terrible pass from Blass. It's another really solid finish from another non-league to legend veteran. I think Garrick, he certainly played for me somewhere at some point. It might have been Nuneaton rather than non-league to legend. Feels like it was too long ago to be home. But... We're not over the line yet, but remember, a draw is enough. So they still have to score twice. We're going to bring a go-go on for Clark. We are going to not make any more changes to that midfield. What we are going to do, though, is bring Jerome Sinclair on up front, and we're going to make him an advanced forward and hope that we get a goal from him. Because in my head, I thought they brought on Tammy Abraham. I mean, it's Abraham's, and we've scored again. And it's Kilgore, and it's 4-2, and we've not played like this all season. This is madness. Posh just need a goal against Doncaster, because Oxford are losing their game. If Posh can find a late winner, we can both stay up. It's the dream scenario. That was a lovely header from Alfie Kilgore, though, and we're still going for it. We're rampant. Chapman... plays it back to Kingsley, I think that was, with the cross. A go-go hovering on the edge of the area, finds Upson, who's probably shattered because he's not played for so long. And that's another poor pass. Have we gifted them another goal? Because that's just silly if we have. What is happening? We have gifted them 3 goals in this game. They've not had a clear-cut chance yet. They've scored 3 times because we're absolute bottle jobs. This is ridiculous. I don't want to see your replay. We haven't made our 3rd substitution yet. That might be why it's all going wrong. We don't really have anyone I'd want to bring on in this situation. No, not going to make a third substitution. What I am going to do is risk a bit of praise. We've scored 4 goals today. We've not done that at any other point this season that I remember. Posh are out of the relegation zone. Oxford are losing. This is the dream scenario. Townsend collects, and we're both going to stay up. Goodness me, is it going to be a party at Kev's house this evening? Do not come to my house. But there's going to be a party here. It's just me and Harry. Going to have a lovely time. Harry Chapman plays it across, finds a go-go. Bud puts Chapman in. Chapman trying to grab himself a cheeky second of the game, but none of that matters. We've won. I think Posh won as well. I think some way, somehow, we've both managed to stay up. It's the Kev dream scenario that I didn't think was going to be a reality, but there it is. Both us and Peterborough United will still be League One teams next year. It's a little harsh on Oxford. They've been dragged back into that right at the death. They hadn't been in the relegation zone since back at Christmas time, and they're dragged in on the last day. But who cares? I certainly don't. That's insane. We have avoided relegation. Ooh, that was harder than it needed to be. But there you go. I'm up to a C+. Tomorrow, we will do a season review and transfer special and work out how we're going to work towards recording a top half. They want us to finish in the top half next year. I mean, were they not paying attention this year? I bet they're not going to give me any money either, are they? If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. I mean, say a last day relegation escape, that's got to be worth 3,000 likes, surely. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos, and thank you very much for watching.